ultimate goal of Patagonia's corporate responsibility program is to help our factories find lasting solutions to improve the working conditions for the employees that are making Patagonia's products. Patagonia engages in many activities to ensure that our factories are compliant with our code of conduct. One of the most important things that we do to ensure that happens is we have a four-fold screening approach. So there's 4 areas that we look at specifically before we go into a factory, before we place an order. One is sourcing, and sourcing has to do with price, capacity, delivery. And then number 2 is quality, to make sure that the quality of the garment is up to standard. And then the other 2 are social and environmental responsibility. We want to make sure that they're living up to our standards. All 4 areas have equal veto power. So what that means is I can say no, and we don't go into a factory because they're not socially or environmentally compliant. The Fair Labor Association is the cornerstone of our corporate responsibility program. They're a nonprofit organization that is comprised of U.S. brands, non-governmental organizations, U.S. universities, and factories to come together for one cause, and that is to improve the working conditions in factories worldwide. The FLA brings credibility to our program in 2 ways. They audit 5% of our supply chain each year, unannounced, and they don't let us know who they're choosing for the audits. Those audit reports are posted on their website for public access. And in a second way, they also audit Patagonia every 3 years for reaccreditation. And so they actually come into Patagonia here in Ventura and they audit all of our corporate responsibility files to ensure that we're following their obligations. We engage in a lot more activities to ensure that our factories are socially and environmentally compliant. One of the main things we do is regular auditing, and we audit all of our garment factories, including subcontractors. And we are now auditing our raw material suppliers and even visiting some of the farms. We also share audit reports on the Fair Factories Clearinghouse database, which is an online database that many of the brands share. What that does is reduce audit fatigue in the factories. For really complex issues that these audits find, issues that the factory isn't able to correct right away, it would take months, maybe even years to resolve the issue, we enroll those factories in what's called a continuous improvement program. And this could be a training that a local third-party expert is hired to come in and train the factory management or the employees on to resolve the issue. Well, all of that sounds really good, but Patagonia faces a lot more challenges. We really want to meet all of our social and environmental goals, but there are some big concerns out there that will take longer to tackle. One of them is the issue of living wage. The Fair Labor Association just adopted the living wage code element, and Patagonia has also done the same thing. We are working with the FLA to increase wages in our factories, but we're starting with some pilot projects first. Number 2, we're also working on responsible purchasing practices. So we're really starting to look internal and looking at our own practices to figure out what are the decisions we're making here that impact workers' lives. So for example, if we put in a last-minute order, that might put the factory into overtime, and then they might be out of compliance with our code of conduct. And so we're looking to change the way we do business to mitigate those issues. The third issue is traceability, and that is tracing the raw materials from the farm to the end product. And an example of this is organic cotton. And ensuring that the customer is getting an organic cotton t-shirt, we need to have a good, robust traceability system to ensure that the raw materials that we said are in the garment are in the garment. And we're looking to improve those systems as well. We have a really strong corporate responsibility program. We don't have all the answers yet, and we have a lot to learn. What's important is that we've placed social and environmental responsibility as a priority in all the decisions we make as a company.